So many ideas going on in this project, but it's just the start.
Good design is all about creating that moment of bliss.
This is really also the hospitality and the tourism of tomorrow.
This is what we want to show.
We have created something which blends into the environment, and the house itself is basically seamless.
Imagine you were able to just teletransport.
You are on your own island in the center of Amsterdam.
I think you have to go there to believe it.
Now, our next presentation is by Tezuka architects who have won WAF awards previously. This year they have won the religion category with the Niijima Chapel in Gunma, Japan. So over to you, Tezuka.
Okay, this is Tezuka Architects and Niijima Chapel. This is a very modest box-like carriage chapel. You can't see the building out from outside much. There's no piazza in front because deep in the site, deep in the college campus. But I designed this like a jewel, small project. The chapel is named after a pastor called Niijima. He introduced Protestantism to Japan in the mid-19th century. He established schools, which became universities and the college. There's a story in the college. Niijima put seed on the Japanese ground, and the seed grew to the trees. And it became a forest, and the forest is a school. The school is named after Niijima. Then the forest is Eden. And you are looking at my 56-meter wide drawing. And it was taking half year, every day, every something 3 or 4 hours to draw this. Because of Corona, I could spend lots of time for this. And this, I described Eden. And drew this. And this is a forest, deep in the forest. And what you are seeing is a timber screen. Natural light permeates through the panels, and it becomes a shower of small light if you go inside. And the forest doesn't exist anywhere in this world. The forest exists only in my mind. So this is not the computer graphics nor picture. It's all pure drawing. And we made a screen. And the forest is derived from the story in the Bible. You'll find the forbidden fruit and the flowers, everything in the Bible. And fishes. And you are going up these stairs. And the story was about the tragedy of Adam and Eve. They were exiled from the Eden. Yet, that was the beginning of our civilization. If the exile didn't happen, the world didn't exist, wasn't existing. The real world is harsh and tough, but there's a freedom. And the light is guiding us into space. And the school is Eden, where students are protected. They are given fruits of knowledge and they're exiled. It means graduation. They are leaving to the real world. The panel is a description of that moment when they leave the Eden. This is a way out. Then, and the forest is deep on the back and bright in the front. You are going out from the altar to the real world and as imagination. And I didn't find any boundary between architecture and artistic expression. I know that it's unusual, architects does do this, but I wanted to act like architects in old days. I wanted to express all of my emotions. I didn't want to limit my emotion only in architectural language. The space is surrounded by the cloister. The cloister is a Villandale timber structure. It's soft and ductile. There are many buckets dispersed randomly in the grid. As the building absorbs the earthquake force gently, as 1,000 years old Japanese timber building has been, so simple and efficient. The structure is designed as the trunks and the branches of the forest. There is no boundary between the structure and the panels. It's one existence. It's proper music hall. Acoustic is really good and quite well sealed. And the sound is soft and natural. Panels are inclined to make a natural echo. The small holes absorb sound naturally as well as the forest does. It's a forest of piano, and people think that this is the best music hall for the piano. And you don't need a score. Light guide you. Light is a score. I feel heaven when I play the piano. I play piano. No? Wherever you go, the light flows. A different experience from any chapel. As you are in the forest, wherever you go, light follows. You don't need to walk to the light. It's very different experience from any chapel in the world. It's one by one relationship with the divine existence and you. The light flows you all the time. You see each of the light. You see many elements, fruits and the flowers, fishes, elements. A light is coming through very small holes. Actually, its hole is about 6 millimeters. The light gets dispersed as you get further. So you see the light, And as you get close to the panel, the picture is very clear, but the light gets dispersed and it gets further, and the light gets soft and soft. This is just exactly like in a forest. It is very gentle, delicate light. So this is Eden, where students graduate. The forest will be there for them for a long, long time. This is a very small project. But I dedicated my life. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you very much, Tezuka Architects. A lovely presentation, lovely project. Now let's see. Kim, can I ask you to ask a question or make a comment?
Yeah, thank you for a very poetic and beautiful presentation. Yeah, it was food for thought. I have a few questions about the facade. We don't see the building from outside. So this forest, is that literally a forest outside, or is it something printed on the glass facade? And what's
no, it's not printed. This is a panel. You can see, if you look at this is the timber panel, and we have a holes and where lights coming through. And outside of this panel, we have a very thick double glazing. So from outside, this is the bay material that you see. In the daytime, the light becomes black, but you see the panels. This is very much you can see. This is really back of the campus. So this is a
this. Yeah, so this wood is inside the glass facade, so to speak.
Inside, and it was taking a long time to carve it out. And you can see that the panel is inclined to the acoustic solution. So if you actually from outside and inside, it's looking like a timber box, but the completely sealed. And it's not a print. It's not the computer generated image.
No, so that's why it works acoustically. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Christina.
I'm glad that Kim asked that question. Essentially, it's a glass box with shading on the inside or panels on the inside. So the panels are completely protected from the weather. What's extraordinary is that from the inside, it looks incredibly transparent when it's backlit. And it nearly looks like as if you had taken a microscope and looked at a leaf and its intricacy. But acoustically, it seems to me that this is a transparent panel because of its perforations, and essentially the reflection comes from the glass behind it, and so it sort of seemed like quite a reflective space acoustically. And I was just wondering whether that wasn't, when you played the piano, that was interesting to hear because I could hear that.
No. There is no flat echo. The panels inclined, and it's we had a really good computer simulation, and we made sure, and there is no flat echo, and the sound is absorbed little by little through the holes, and on the ceiling, we have some absorption. All of these calculated, and this is known to be the best acoustic space for the piano. It's amazing, just a famous pianist coming to play for this. Just it started. It's really good acoustic, I can tell you. But because actually I'm a pianist, I play piano. Actually, I played the last one.
Thank you. Thank you, Nuno.
Again, this is a project that shows how something very simple can be so beautiful and complex. And this is a work of love and patience. It's very easy to see that. I understand that the pattern on the facade is done by hand, right? You spend quite some time drawing step by step to reach the kind of drawing and pattern that you appreciate. And then how is that translated then into a system to perforate the panels? Is it done also by hand, or is it like
we had to use a drill to make holes, but it was done by one scale. So yes, it's not the hole was not made by hand. Okay, craftsmen used drills and sometimes machines. But everything is based on my drawing, 1:1 scale, my drawing.
Thank you.
It taking almost
I want to add to this thing of the acoustics. I have done several concert halls by now, and it's, of course, I think the acoustics is going to be very good because I can see the scale of the space and the volume, and it's the proper scale and space for these kind of spaces. But also, I must say that the artists are not just looking for the good acoustics; they are looking for a space that they are very inspired to play on. You know, which is what that space is. It's the architecture is not just like the techniques behind it; it's the poetry that you can have to the experience. And I think that's what that space also gives. There's such a powerful atmosphere that is made on the project that that makes the experience of listening to music something more than just the sound.
I wish you can come
Thank
to
you.
here and I can show you the best acoustic.
Yeah, me too. This is the kind of project you cannot judge in pictures. You need to go there.
Abdul Kader.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was absolutely stunning. Beautiful building, and I really appreciate this. I have questions, but not technical ones. I was thinking about what are your references to came to this result, because during your presentation you were quoting the Bible, the myth of Christianism. In my feeling, it's more an Islamic building than a Christian one, specifically for the light, because about the reference to the Moucharabieh, which is also something that deals with the light. And in the other hand, I have another reference to give you. I had the feeling that you did the same path of Mondrian, but in the opposite way. You know that Mondrian begins with painting the forest and gets to the abstraction at the end. And the feeling we have when we are inside the building is that we are doing this journey in the opposite way, coming back to the forest and coming back to the lights. I want to hear your thoughts about how you link your building to the history of architecture.
Okay. Actually, interesting about Japan is that you can build mosque right next to Catholic church, and we can have a Buddhism temple right next to. So in Japan, all these are mixed. And also, I understand that Islamic thinking, including Christianity. You know, Islam didn't deny Jesus Christ. It's a part of the history. So, you know, I understand the reason why you feel that way, but, you know, I wanted to go back to basic and also my feeling that there's a before the abstraction, and it became abstract in my mind, but I didn't want to go the pattern, you know, just my feeling, that's soft, something between the rationality and emotion. That is what it is. And there's no boundary between architecture and you know, artist expression. That is all I want to do. You know, in modern movement, always we are restricted not to do this, but always I was feeling, the architecture should be much more free. I know that this is against the rule of modernism, but I really wanted to try this for a long time.
Thank you. I have a final question, which is about your client. The way you presented this, it was as though you were the client, and it's a kind of self-created project, and a very beautiful one. But did you have a formal client? Did you have a budget? Did you have any rules of engagement?
I'm not rich enough to buy this chapel. You know, it's owned by college, and we had to go through the competition to get this project. And then, you know, there's the owner of this college, and he really wanted to tell me the story of the Bible, Eden. And so that is where the idea is coming from. Yes, there's a very strict budget, and there used to be a timber, you know, school building, and they had to rebuild it because it wasn't strong enough. So we got some funding from the government, and then they added some money, and it's really not expensive building. It's about $6 million. And we are not allowed to exceed it. But there are so many, alumni who are trying to do this without the benefit. That is how we achieve this. So it's quite unusual.
Thank you very much.
I don't think I can do it again.
And thank you for your presentation. Congratulations on winning your category, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.